Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KPW War Zone. It is I, Tapey Styles, calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always, and coming to you live from the Kumite Pavilion. We have quite the card to bring to you here tonight. For the first time in 5 long months, we will be hearing from the returning icon, the man that shocked the world last Monday night with an absolutely nuclear return to KPW, the icon, the man they call Ding. You'll also be hearing from the star attraction, France's greatest export, Pierre Cinema, later on tonight. But we also have action to bring to you here tonight on Warzone, as we have tag team action to get to. The Connection, the Sauce, Jim Ross team up against the Raging Bulls, Willie Nixon and Mojo Perry later on tonight. Also to come, we will be seeing the Pitbull K-Dog take on the role model, one half of the KPW Tag Team Champions tape in singles action. But also to come, we will be seeing Pando, the Siberian Silver Bear, go one-on-one against the mastermind of the First Nation. We are, of course, talking about Sigma Shuko, a man that's been waiting to get his hands clean of a man like Pando for quite some time now. But before we get our way down to ringside, we're hearing from officials backstage. We got cameras on one of the hottest rising tag teams here in KPW, as we hope to get a word in with Bam Dardino and Ricky Rhombus, collectively known as the Bam Bus.
I know that Spring Stampede wasn't our lucky break, Ricky.
Lucky break? You're one to talk, Bam. You got a world title shot to cash in whenever you want, and I don't.
Well, yeah, I guess it was my lucky night. Lethal lottery contract and all, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here 'cause I really want to make this team work. I appreciate the pep talk that you and Danny gave me that Saturday night. Really, I do. But now, I gotta reciprocate that favor. I owe you for roping you into this idea, and I'm not gonna pull us out of it until the Bam Bus become tag team champions. This is ride or die, brother.
Ride or die. It feels like we got a hell of a journey ahead of us here. But since you want to give me the pep talk here, what do you suggest? I'm with it anyways 'cause I want the tag team gold. I just want to make sure that you're right here, beside me, even with that contract at play.
Reasonable concerns between
We
the
went
Bam
the
Bus.
distance, and we kept ourselves in the fight with Bob and Tape for 40 minutes. You know what I learned from that? There's no more time to hesitate, man. We gotta make our moves. Make a whole lot of noise here in KPW. Show up and show out. These people have taken notice to us, win, lose, or draw. We can still be patient and move fast at the same time. And if we let one slip, we won't have the other. I'm gonna march down to that ring the next chance I get, because if we want the Bam Bus to work out, we aren't gonna pump the brakes and stop for nobody.
Strong words of encouragement from the 2025 Lethal Lottery winner, Bam Dardino, addressing his tag team partner, telling him that even though he has contractual obligations to the World Heavyweight Championship, something that he could cash in at any moment at this point, he's gonna make the Bam Bus work here. Speaking of working, it looks like Shuko's got his working boots on here tonight. What the hell is this? We got cameras in the parking lot area here, and that's the other half of the First Nation. That's the War Machine, Slarty, putting a beat down on Pando. We knew that Pando had his target on Sigma Shuko since even before Spring Stampede. We knew that Slarty had some resentment about the way that Spring Stampede went for him and the First Nation, finding no luck between the Panda bout, no luck between Lethal Lottery here. Pando's a hungry man, but Slarty is a vicious son of a bitch here as he launches Pando halfway down the street in that shopping cart. Pando trying to reciprocate any of the damage that he possibly can there. Grabbing that manhole there. Sewer lid. We have an all-out brawl outside the Kumite Pavilion here. One. Pando is just reeling something fierce here. We've never seen him this vulnerable before. What kind of condition is Pando gonna be in for this upcoming bout against Sigma Shuko? Is he even gonna make it to the bout? Slarty making his way back towards the arena parking lot area. Pando in pursuit. And Pando has been busted wide open. Security doesn't want to intervene between these two. They don't want to get in between these two absolute beasts, these freaks of nature. Slarty creating some distance. What the hell is he going for here? Slarty, he's commandeering a motorcycle here, dragging Pando along the pavement. Oh my God! Slarty acting in his own volition there, going full loose cannon with it. Just splattering Pando into the side of that car, dragging him along the pavement. And it looks like Bam Dardino was ready for a moment like this, hoping to capitalize, hoping to demonstrate to his tag team partner that he's gonna make the Bam Bus work now. I guess we have an impromptu singles match here tonight. Whoever decided to rent out that blue sedan in the parking lot, they have one hell of a feat coming their way once they have to try and return that thing to the lot. We're gonna need to get an ambulance for Pando. We're gonna need to get a damn tow truck for that car. But Sigma Shuko has to be more than motivated watching all that footage go down on the Jumbotron here. His fiercest rival, his biggest enemy, has been seemingly smoked, just taken out of action here tonight. So this is something that Shuko still has to worry about. He might be underestimating Bam Dardino here, and this could be Bam's perfect opportunity to send a message to the World Heavyweight Champion Jedi. With such a victory like this here tonight. Texas Cloverleaf cinched in. Shuko reaching the ropes, however. Spinning wheel kick from the mastermind Sigma Shuko. marching to the beat of his own drums here tonight. And you just know that Shuko has to know something regarding that attack. That was as clean cut, that was as orchestrated as they could have ever came here. We were under the impression that Pando was just waiting right behind the curtain, getting ready for the music to hit, getting ready to march down to the ring the only way he knows how to. And the War Machine, Slarty, has just exterminated Pando in the blink of an eye here. Springboard missile drop kick from Shuko. We'll have more updates to come about the condition of Pando as the minutes progress in this edition of Warzone here tonight. Lion Tamer cinched in deep from Shuko to Bam. Bam refusing to tap, overpowering Shuko. As I'm receiving word from the board of directors, effective immediately, Slarty has been suspended from in-ring competition here in KPW for 30 days here. Board of directors finally taking action, trying to take control over all these attacks that we saw over the course of the past several months. Although we do believe this was an isolated incident. The board of directors are instating a zero tolerance policy. You want to dish out any damage to one another, you do it inside the ring. German suplex. Slap Thigh Jones calling the rope break. Bam's foot touching the middle rope there. Plancha to the outside. What an absolutely insane start to Warzone here tonight in the Kumite Pavilion. What was originally scheduled to be a bout between Shuko and the Siberian Silver Bear Pando has quickly gone in a completely different direction. All thanks to the attacks, the vehicular-based attacks of Slarty. Tilt-a-whirl power slam by Bam Dardino. Shuko keeping the pressure up, staying in control of this bout here. We knew that Pando had Shuko in his sights since before Spring Stampede, but we have to wonder, how far is too far? Facelock tie up, Bam Dardino, pendulum backbreaker. I'm absolutely stunned, absolutely speechless at the display of violence that we just saw just a few short moments ago. I can't seem to get my mind off of it. But how could you? Nonetheless, I'm going to try and do my absolute best to call this bout right down the middle. As always, 54 episodes strong of KPW War Zone. Irish whip, Bam running the ropes, holding onto the ropes. Shuko meets him at the edge of the ring there. Swinging back heel kick, sending Bam over the top rope and down to the floor. Shuko running the ropes. Look, he was looking to go for a tope suicida there. forearm strike, spinning back heel kick into the sternum of Bam Dardino. Once again, he's trying to cover up that sternum however he can. Lion Tamer cinched in deep, extra pressure on the torso, and Bam taps out here, leaving Sigma Shuko the winner of our opening bout here tonight. As cold and as calculated as he's ever been, Sigma Shuko zeroes in with no notice whatsoever, with no discretion whatsoever on a battle-hungry Bam Dardino here tonight. That is a look of a man that has been completely in control here tonight. Shuko wasting no time getting out of the building here. The Bam Bus, one hell of a tune-up there. Reestablishing the First Nation as a strong threat in the KPW Tag Team Division. And speaking of the Tag Team Division, we have our tag team action coming up just now. As the Sauce, Jim Ross, the Connection, make their first serious foray into the tag team division here in KPW. As the line of challengers looking to square up against our resident KPW tag team champions, Bob and Tape, continues to grow here. Jim Ross looking to capitalize off of the successes of his tag team partner, finding no luck whatsoever in KPW so far. The man seemingly promised the world and being left with nothing in his hands here. He aligns with the Sauce in the hopes of getting his hands full of championship gold here. But if he wants to make himself one step closer to obtaining the championship gold, he has to overcome Mojo Perry, Willie Nixon, the Raging Bulls here tonight. A blossoming division as of lately. The KPW Tag Team division has been absolutely unpredictable. You never know who's gonna step up to the plate. You never know who is gonna be the next man to step up, the next two men to step up to the KPW Tag Team Champions. Bob and Tape in their first reign as Tag Team Champions, basking in the glory of being the longest reigning KPW Tag Team Champions at this point in time. As you just know, both of them will be watching from backstage, observing both of these tag teams. Still keeping an eye on the Bam Bus, still keeping an eye on the First Nation. There's quite the power vacuum in the KPW Tag Team division here. Who's going to be able to dethrone Bob and Tape? They've been holding on to the championship since late December of 2024. And what a time to be a part of KPW here, ladies and gentlemen. To have all of these champions, strong and valiant, fierce as they've ever come, in the home of Fighting Spirit. our longest reigning tag team champions, our longest reigning world heavyweight champion in the Viceroy Jedi, a two-time Twitch champion in Popcorn Poppy, and a two-time hardcore champion in Corey Sinclair. The grip on championship gold has never been tighter here in KPW than it is right now. Jim Ross, the legal man, Mojo Perry, the legal man for the Raging Bulls, in the bright pink and orange apparel here tonight. Pile driver from Mojo to Jim Ross. These four men, they're going to take it back to fundamentals here tonight. They're going to take it old school here. Billy Nixon getting into the fray here. The Rhinestone Cowboy, the Sauce, intervenes, providing a short but sweet assist to Jim Ross here. Born and bred KPW original Jim Ross, yet to win a championship here in KPW. Looking to make the most out of his opportunities here. Suplex. Tag made to the Sauce entering the ring here. A former KPW Twitch champion, a former Lethal Lottery winner, a man that has main evented multiple KPW monthly special events, all of which that you can find at the KPW archives, where you can watch every Warzone, every monthly special, and every episode of the 2024 Golden Gauntlet all in one place at your viewing convenience. Some of the Sauce's greatest highlights come at the 2024 Lethal Lottery at Summer Spark in 2024. And what the Sauce is working towards here and now for the on behalf of the Connection here is making it to Riot Act on April 26th, the last Saturday of the month, as he and Jim Ross aim to become the #1 contenders for the KPW Tag Team Championships, where they will take on Bob and Tape at Riot Act. Sauce going low on Willie Nixon. The size discrepancy of the Sauce being a difference of 20 pounds between both members of the Raging Bulls in varying directions here. Mojo Perry being 20 pounds lighter than the Sauce, weighing in tonight at 265 pounds. Willie Nixon, the heavier of the two Raging Bulls, weighing in at 285 here tonight. Big lumbering clothesline from Jim Ross here. A second clothesline taking Mojo off the apron as he shifts his focus to Willie Nixon, a man that's not a legal man in the bout here. Tandem offense, the Lukenbach elbow and the Luthez combination from the Connection here. Bit of miscommunication from the Connection. Dare I say a disconnect as the Sauce accidentally strikes Jim Ross, who goes flying over the top and down to the floor. Forearm smash into the back of Jim Ross, into that lower lumbar region. Irish whip it to the ropes. Mojo drop toe hold on Jim Ross. Waistlock tie up here. Another forearm smash into the back of Jim Ross. Little JR doing a lot of the heavy lifting here tonight on behalf of the Connection. Sauce not seeing a lot of in-ring action between the two. Sauce going up top here. Some rare aerial offense here. Knee drop averted on behalf of Mojo Perry there, rolling out of harm's way. Sauce was able to minimize and mitigate some of that damage from that missed knee drop by rolling on the landing there. Trying to distribute the impact across more of his body there. Exchange of blows here between Willie Nixon and the Sauce. Willie Nixon getting the upper hand here. Irish whip it to the ropes. Side kick into the thighs of the Sauce, taking him off his feet momentarily. The Connection working together, using those 5 seconds that they can share inside the ring to their advantage here. Single leg Boston Crab by the Sauce. Shoulder breaker by the Sauce. Connection maintaining control over the Raging Bulls here in tonight's tag team action. Raging Bulls, very familiar names here in the KPW tag team division, stalwarts since the very beginning. Who could forget their infamous rivalry over the spring of last year against the inaugural KPW Tag Team Champions, the Boise Boys, David Rush, Hollywood Hannon. A team that's been on quite a slippery slope in the past several months. David Rush tried to call his shot last week on War Zone against the Viceroy Jedi in the main event. A rare matchup, putting two old rivals against one another. David Rush would fall short against the Viceroy that night, but that would surely be one of the less memorable things that happened over the course of that 30-minute main event. As still to come, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be hearing from the icon, the man they call Ding, later on tonight in War Zone. First time we'll be hearing from him in 5 long months. So much that's happened ever since his disappearance at Madhouse. He has to have quite a bit to say here. Sauce getting pile driven by Mojo Perry here. The Raging Bulls trying to get into that flow state here. Offense from the Bulls here. Headlock on the Sauce here, but the Sauce reaches the ropes. Mojo Perry sneaking in a quick throat thrust. Try and deprive the Sauce of his breath. And the Sauce has been quite a peculiar character here as of lately. Trying to find his foothold in KPW however he can. Excursion into the KPW Twitch division, a division that he helped get off the ground here by becoming the first ever KPW Twitch champion over a year ago. Now finds himself being forced out of the KPW Twitch division by the likes of Pierre Cinema, by the likes of Steven Gielberg, by the likes of our reigning and defending two-time KPW Twitch champion, Popcorn Poppy. Now the Rhinestone Cowboy tries his hand in the tag team division as part of the connection. Action spilling to the outside here. The Sauce and Mojo Perry slugging it out inside the ring. Jim Ross and Willie Nixon slugging it out outside the ring. Willie Nixon, the legal man for the Raging Bulls here. Jim Ross, also the legal man for the connection here, retrieving a trash bin. And it looks like the Sauce has restored order to this bout. No reprimandation from Slap Thigh Jones, our lead official here in KPW whatsoever. Mojo Perry's immediately tagged in, and he gets sent right back out of the ring here. The connection has plenty of time to dish out some real collateral damage here onto Willie Nixon here. Atomic drop. Followed up with an elbow drop by Jim Ross there, not getting all the distance he was hoping for, not getting as much impact as he would have liked on that elbow. Big clothesline into the corner. Mojo Perry just collapsing down to the mat. Inside cradle. Deflected by the Sauce. The Sauce going up top, looking for a double axe handle. But Mojo was ready. Sauce trying his hand at some aerial offense once again. Knee drop successful this time. Big clothesline pushing back Mojo from his tag team partner. Headlock cinched in deep. And Mojo makes it to the ropes. A headbutt below the belt of the Sauce. Tag made to Willie Nixon right in the nick of time. Willie Nixon picking up where his tag team partner left off. Another headbutt below the belt. All is fair in love and war here, and we are live with KPW War Zone. And ladies and gentlemen, just in case you were just tuning in here tonight, we are hot off the heels of one of our most chaotic and perhaps one of our most unpredictable nights that we've ever produced here in KPW, and there's still more action to come. In our opening bout, which was supposed to be a bout between Sigma Shuko, the mastermind of the First Nation, and the Siberian Silver Bear Pando, was thrown completely off the rails with the intervention of the other half of the First Nation, the War Machine Slarty, commandeering a motorcycle, dragging Pando along the pavement in the parking lot in the back of the Kumite Pavilion and slamming him right into the side of a car. We still push through with singles competition. As the old saying goes, the show must go on, and we found a suitable replacement for Sigma Shuko in the Blue Chipper, one half of the Bam Bus, the 2025 Lethal Lottery winner, Bam Dardino, as Shuko would emerge victorious in that bout. Back suplex by Willie Nixon here, hooking the leg here, looking to steal a pin off the Sauce here. Still to come later on tonight. We still have singles action to come as K-Dog goes one-on-one against one half of the KPW Tag Team Champions in Tape. The Pitbull versus the Role Model coming up next on KPW War Zone. We've also yet to hear from the previous KPW Twitch champion, Pierre Cinema. And we await to hear our first words from the icon, the man they call Ding, for the first time in over 5 months. As the clock draws closer and nearer to our next monthly special event, Riot Act, April 26th, right here on the Team Adhesive Broadcasting Network. Raging Bulls firmly keeping the connection under their thumbs here tonight. Mojo Perry going for a quick cover here on the Sauce here. Jim Ross breaking up the action, breaking up that pinfall attempt. Back suplex by Jim Ross. Billy Nixon tagging in, arguably the freshest man in this bout, in this moment in time. Drop kick taking down the Sauce here. As this bout approaches the 20-minute mark. 40-minute time limit on our tag team action here in KPW. Who knows who might be the next in line here? Who knows what will step up to the plate if this were to go to a 40-minute draw? It's the first time that we've seen the Raging Bulls here in action here tonight on Warzone in quite some time here. Infrared on Jim Ross here, that face buster. Lateral press, nobody home on the side of the connection, but Jim Ross still gets the shoulder up. Billy Nixon dragging Jim Ross away from the Sauce, looking to go for a lateral press. Mojo Perry successful with the blitz play on the Sauce there. Jim Ross was still able to kick out once again. Tonight's tag team action marches onward. The Sauce making that tag, recuperating some of that energy, conserving that stamina in his corner of the ring as part of the connection here tonight. Another lateral press pinfall, 2 count. As this bout has officially reached the 20-minute mark. 20 down and potentially 20 more to go. This is what we mean when we say that the competition in the tag team division, and just KPW in general, it's just so tight-knit, it's so fierce. One crucial mistake is all it takes to get out of the rankings here. One loss can send you so far down the KPW totem pole, and you never know who's gonna step up to replace you. Sauce behind enemy lines here, finding himself in between 2 Raging Bulls here. made to Mojo. Irish whip into the ropes. Samoan dropped by the Sauce. Irish whip into the turnbuckles here. The Sauce creating some distance, looking to get a tag from Jim Ross, and Jim Ross gives him the hot tag here. Jim Ross going dead weight on that small package attempt by Mojo Perry. Staying one step ahead of the game here. One step ahead of the Raging Bulls here tonight. Scoop slam by Jim Ross. Raging Bulls ramming Jim Ross's head into their corner of the ring here tonight. An eye rake from Jim Ross, drawing the ire of the Kumite faithful here tonight in the pavilion. Headlock takeover by Jim Ross. Exchange of blows, Jim Ross winning that exchange. Sauce guarding the edge of the ring here tonight. Willie Nixon getting in a quick blow to the sternum here, taking him down and capitalizing on it with a camel clutch, but the Sauce was able to reach the ropes. Alternating knee strikes from Willie Nixon. Pardon me here. Lateral press cover. And the Sauce kicks out this time. We almost had a massive upset here tonight on Warzone. Sleeper hold cinched in deep. The Sauce might be forced to tap out. He might. And the Raging Bulls have just put the Sauce to sleep here. Jim Ross, no eyes in the back of his head, not realizing that his tag team partner was cinched in deep into that sleeper hold on behalf of Willie Nixon. Mojo Perry providing one hell of a distraction here for his tag team partner. As the Raging Bulls pick up one hell of an upset. An upset that even caught the Connection off guard. I don't think anybody expected this outcome here tonight. But nonetheless, we have quite the field of tag team competitors leading up into Riot Act on April 26th. In a #1 contenders bout 2 weeks from now on Warzone, we'll be seeing the Bam Bus, a team that has been maintaining their top position in the tag team division as of lately, teaming up against the Raging Bulls. The winner will advance to Riot Act to take on Bob and Tate for the KPW Tag Team Championships. Congratulations to Willie Nixon. Congratulations to Mojo Perry, the Raging Bulls, on what might possibly be the biggest victory of their careers. And coming up next, speaking of tag teams, look no further than one half of the KPW Tag Team Champions, the Role Model Tape, as he goes one-on-one against the Pitbull K-Dog in singles competition here tonight. Tape being flanked to ringside by that 300-pound misfit, the other half of the tag team champions, and Bob enjoying the fruits of their labor, enjoying this historic tag team championship reign here tonight on War Zone. And tonight they go one-on-one against the Pitbull K-Dog. Man, that's been struggling to find his footing ever since Destiny here in KPW. Coming up short at Spring Stampede in the 2025 Lethal Lottery match. Coming up short against Jedi, as well as Popo in the World Heavyweight Championship bout back at Destiny. K-Dog has been utterly winless since the end of February, and he has high hopes to turn it all around here tonight at the expense of the Role Model Tape. Spinning back elbow blocked by K-Dog. Test of strength engaged between the two. K-Dog with the upper hand here, but Tape powering back up to his feet here. K-Dog with the well-placed knee to the sternum, picking up the early advantage. Neck breaker from K-Dog to Tape. And K-Dog had one of the hottest starts to any competitor here in KPW history. An undefeated streak that has yet to be rivaled, quite frankly. Picking up championship gold as quickly as he did. Stab jab countered by Tape. Reverse armbar, but K-Dog's right there at the ropes here. Right in front of us at the squared circle. Collar and elbow, transitioning into a wrist lock. Dropping the elbow down onto the shoulder of Tape. Pump handle drop by K-Dog. I've received an update regarding the condition of Pando after what we saw earlier tonight at the hands of the War Machine, Slarty. Pando will not be kept out of action for long as he is dealing with some bruised ribs, some serious scraping of his back across that pavement in the parking lot. As we stated before, Slarty, the War Machine, one half of the First Nation, the man responsible for this vehicular base attack here. Thankfully only minorly hurting the Siberian Silver Bear Pando. Will still be suspended from in-ring competition for 30 days. We have no time frame of when Pando will be cleared to return to action. we do know that he will be back sooner than later. In regards to the other half of the First Nation, the man that we saw in singles action earlier on tonight, Sigma Shuko, will be cashing in that hardcore championship match that he's been entitled to since the beginning of March, as he hopes to get a rematch against Corey Sinclair in singles action for the hardcore championship next week in War Zone. Tape keeping the pressure up against K-Dog here tonight, but he's favoring that left leg of his. Trying to block off these thigh kicks from K-Dog with the bad leg, and he's limping his way over to K-Dog, trying to keep the pressure up, but he might be going a bit over his head here tonight. Back elbow, recoiling off the second rope here. Cover. And a kick out from Tape. Breaking the eyes of K-Dog. Forearm strike across the jaw of K-Dog, trying to knock him clean out. Back suplex from K-Dog. Keeping control of this bout here. Leg lock cinched in by the pit bull. And the role model has just tapped out to K-Dog.
You have better call somebody.
Tonight has been all about keeping up the pressure here in KPW. We saw initially with Sigma Shuko cinching in that Lion Tamer on Bam Dardino and picking up the victory. We then saw the Raging Bulls pick up tag team victories against the Connection via sleeper hold. And now, just a couple moments ago, we saw K-Dog reverse the momentum, shift the direction of his career back towards the positive, back into the green, by forcing the role model Tape to submit with a leg lock here. This is surely a victory that will put K-Dog back in the sight of many champions here in KPW. This was exactly the kind of victory that K-Dog needed after trial and error these past 6 to 8 weeks. This could be his journey back towards getting another shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. This could be a shot towards our reigning defending Twitch champion, Popcorn Poppy. We have no idea which direction K-Dog is looking into, but one thing is absolutely for sure. He just put every champion on notice here in KPW by tapping out one of the KPW Tag Team Champions in Tape. Congratulations to K-Dog.
Oh, you didn't know?
And coming up next, as our resident interviewer Roger marches his way down to ringside, this can only mean one thing and one thing only. We might finally get some words. Might finally hear from the icon, the man they call Ding, for the first time in 5 long months. It appears that Roger's got a live microphone. Let's not even waste any time. Let's get right down to ringside and see what he has to offer here. And the Dinger might have pulled one over on his old friend here tonight. I mean, Roger, dummy microphone. The Viceroy is going to be more than pleased to know that he doesn't have to hear the voice of Roger here tonight. But the Kumite Pavilion's in an absolute frenzy over the return of the Dinger. I can't even believe what we're seeing here tonight. It's been a whole week since this man has graced his presence back here in KPW.
It has been 5 long months since I got a chance to step through these ropes. So much time to rehabilitate. So much time to digest everything that happened. So much time to think about what to do as soon as the Dinger was able to come back. Robbie Deuce, you're a dead man. I'm gonna take my sweet time tearing him apart for what he took away from me. What he took away from all the little Dingers across the world. You thought that if you drove me over a cliff, these people, the faithful that have stood by my side for the past year, would forget about me. To everybody that kept the Dinger near to their hearts over the fall and the winter, pushing the board to find justice. To everybody that believed that I would come back because I fought for you. Thank you for fighting even harder for me. That unfortunate night just replays in my head constantly, thinking about what could have been if things went a different way. Maybe, just maybe, the Dinger would have became a 2-time world heavyweight champion here in KPW.
And just like at the drop of a dime here, you bring up the World Heavyweight Championship, and the Viceroy is soon to follow here. Our World Heavyweight Champion, the Viceroy Jedi, with a microphone of his own here, looking to confront the Dinger.
"163 days. That is almost 6 full months of Viceroy dominance at the top of this business. While you were recuperating at home, drinking protein shakes through a tube and watching all of your peers fight valiantly to defend your honor. They were stepping up to an elite caliber champion this company has never seen before or since. Nobody took the fall for you harder than I did, Ding. And like they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So let me ask you something. What business do you have to put the champ's ambition in your mouth? What weight do you hold over me to make this social call?"
Strong question
I
there
don't
from
think
the Viceroy.
anybody saw this coming, but Jedi has pulled his weight here in KPW. A fighting champion. You have the grit. You have the tenacity. You have the heart. And I've kept my eyes on you, my friend. You have earned my respect. You've been running it all, and all that time the Dinger has been gone, and now you almost have it all too. But there's one thing that you don't have, and there's 2 things that the Dinger still has here in KPW. You still never beat me. And I never got to compete for that belt hoisted over your shoulder. The KPW World Heavyweight Championship. I didn't just come back to settle a score with Robbie Deuce. I came back to collect. You've been looking for a new challenger, Jedi. I'm still owed a championship match that I earned back in October. Jedi. Ding! For the grandest prize of them all. Showtime! At Riot Act!
Ding just laying it all thick on the table here, laying it all on the line here, making one hell of a point. He's still owed a World Heavyweight
So let's
Championship
get this
bout.
straight here. You Came to collect the title shot you never got to meet obligations for? You spent the past 5 months busting your ass off to be cleared someday so you can get the chance to go one-on-one with the Viceroy for this. The KPW World Heavyweight Championship? I've been waiting to clean up this blemish for quite some time. I've gone up and down that locker room looking for a worthy challenger. And now you demand me to give you a chance to get your belt back? I'm not granting you a fast pass to this championship.
The pavilion just letting Jedi hear it.
I'm granting myself the time to even the score with you, Ding. World Heavyweight Championship. April 26th, Riot Act. You got yourself a match. Now hit my music.
Oh my God! It appears that we still got a world championship bout out of this. At Riot Act here. What the hell is this? That's the music of one man in particular here. That's France's greatest export, Pierre Cinema. As he marches past the Viceroy here, as we have a newly confirmed World Heavyweight Championship bout for April 26th. The Viceroy versus the Icon. Jedi versus Ding for the World Championship.
Spring Stampede is behind us now, right? Lethal Lottery was all about 20 of the best men taking a gamble on their own career, right? Well, Pierre Cinema is ready to spin that roulette wheel. I'm ready to place that bet on zero and go all in. KPW has been my home for the past year, and I know those big wigs in the back have been watching my every move since I got here. When nobody thought this place had any star power, I injected myself into this business and gave this company the initial push it needed. My face was on all the posters, all the merchandise. I was the talk of the goddamn town. I've learned to take a chance on myself week in and week out because I knew that if I could uphold a code of honor, that taste of championship gold would be so much sweeter when it finally happened. I thought that I was worthy enough to hold on to the Twitch championship. I was at least good enough to win it back at Ignition against Bob. I defended as well as I could against the Sauce at Destiny, and while the record books will remember me getting the W that night, I sure as hell didn't feel good about the way I held onto that championship. I didn't walk away a winner at Spring Stampede, but that doesn't mean I can't tie up loose ends. Popcorn Poppy, you're the man that robbed me of my pride and dignity as champion. But when I beat your ass in a few short moments, I get to focus on what I've desired this entire time. The KPW World Heavyweight Championship. If I'm gonna do this, it's all or nothing. If I can't win the world title, I don't deserve to hold any title. I've proven to myself that I can win a championship, but it's time that I work towards winning the championship. Now send out my opponent here tonight.
Pierre Cinema looking to use this bout against the Twitch champion, Popcorn Poppy. Propel himself that much further and that much closer towards the Viceroy, the World Heavyweight Champion Jedi. What an interesting plea that we've heard from Pierre Cinema just a few short moments ago. Reckoning that if he is not able to win the World Heavyweight Championship, he doesn't feel like he's worthy to win any of the other championships. That was the one that he came into this company for, and that is the one that matters the most to him. And he is here to tie up loose ends here tonight in the KPW Twitch division against the champion Popcorn Poppy. electing to not take a rematch clause that he's earned from successfully defending the Twitch Championship all the way back at Destiny. But he's in for one hell of a fight here against Popcorn Poppy. Leaping clothesline into Popcorn Poppy. This may be the very thing that has alienated so much of the KPW locker room around Pierre Cinema in the course of the previous year. Sure, they agree with his ambition. They agree with the same mutual goals as him. What many have pointed out, just like the Sauce all those months ago, just like Jim Ross, just like Bam Dardino. A lot of this comes off as some sort of personal vanity checklist. And even after a whole year, even after all the rehabilitation that we've seen from Pierre Cinema week in and week out, they still doubt if he has the right intentions to be the world heavyweight champion. Obviously, if he's gonna get a shot at the gold, he's gonna have to wait until after Riot Act. Face the winner between the Viceroy Jedi and our newly confirmed challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship, the Icon, the man they call Ding, in the main event of Riot Act. That's not to mention, there's still the Lethal Lottery contract up in arms here, up at play here. There is still the chance that Bam Dardino could cash in those chips and hit the jackpot at any point in between now and the end of 2025, and that includes Riot Act. Snap, crackle, and pop, and Pierre Cinema kicks out. Clothesline counter into a reverse armbar. Pierre desperately trying to stay in the fight there. Pierre Cinema favoring that arm, trying not to hyperextend it after some of that lateral damage that Popcorn Poppy has laid in onto the tendons inside that arm of Pierre Cinema. Pierre Cinema is in for one hell of a fight here tonight. Especially regarding Popcorn Poppy, especially regarding the way that Popcorn Poppy won the Twitch Championship all the way back at Spring Stampede. And that four corners bout between him and the Sauce, Steven Gilbert, and of course Pierre Cinema. Popcorn Poppy eliminated all three other competitors single-handedly. And now Pierre Cinema has to prove to himself that he can take down Popcorn Poppy by himself, just one-on-one, no outside factors at play here. Just brief tussle in the corner here. Popcorn Poppy driving his knee into the chest of Pierre Cinema, pressing him up against the turnbuckles. An elbow from the second rope down to Pierre. Pierre reciprocating with a spinning wheel kick. Big splash into the corner. Popcorn Poppy going for another elbow from the second rope. Draping his elbow across the back, right into that kidney region of Pierre Cinema. You gotta give it up to Popcorn Poppy. He's one of the hardest hitting, stiffest, strongest combatants that we've seen in the KPW Twitch division. Nobody loves a fight quite like Popcorn Poppy. This was a man that competed in our previous barbed wire brawl against the Sauce over a month ago on Warzone. Reveling in all the pain that he can inflict and endure at the same time. All the blood, the sweat, and tears. He gives it his 110% every time he steps through those ropes here in KPW. Handspring moonsault over the top and down to the floor, catching Popcorn Poppy right on the bullseye there. Popcorn Poppy's fighting spirit, that never say die attitude, is what made him one of the most popular entities here in all of KPW. The kind of attitude that's gotten him to the Hardcore Championship, to become that first ever Hardcore Champion. It's the kind of attitude that got him into becoming a two-time KPW Twitch Champion. And regarding both of these competitors, you can just feel that the sky is the limit for both of them. And unfortunately, one of them has to walk over the other to get higher up in the totem pole, to get closer and closer to the World Heavyweight Championship. Here, having his personal motivations here, not just to go after the World Heavyweight Championship, but to go after the Viceroy and their storied history against one another. Pierre Cinema is 0-2 against the Viceroy, coming up short at Summer Spark back in August, and just letting the championship slip through his fingers all the way back in November at Collision Course. Sleeper hold cinched in by Popcorn Poppy, looking to increase the pressure there, but Pierre Cinema was able to scramble towards those ropes. And it is absolutely imperative that Pierre Cinema stays calm, especially when you're cinched into some of these submission moves. As you exhaust more energy, it'll be harder to get out of the holds. It'll be harder to keep consciousness as that blood pressure picks up more and more. You will actually pass out even faster in the hold. Count 14, both men returning to the ring. Popcorn Poppy just sent out of the ring via suplex. Right from the apron, over the top rope, and down to the floor. The action has spilled to the outside, right in front of the Kumite faithful in the pavilion here tonight. And speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, speaking of what looms around, what clouds the Viceroy, as we enter the spring of 2025. We did see that brief appearance last week at Warzone Anniversary from the wild card Robbie Deuce, trying to finish what he started all the way back at Spring Stampede over the course of the past several months. The icon, the man they call Dang, also having his targets set on Robbie Deuce. Count of 18, Pierre Cinema needs to get back into the ring here. And Pierre just barely beats the count. Robbie Deuce was entitled to an ironclad World Heavyweight Championship bout, one reserved in his contract for assisting the investigations, one that we would come to learn was under false pretenses, as he was responsible for taking out the Dinger amongst countless other combatants here in KPW over the course of the past several months. Now, Robbie Deuce, if he were to get back into the World Heavyweight Championship scene here, he would have to earn it from scratch, just like everybody else. Reverse armbar by Pierre Cinema. Rope break called by Slap Thigh Jones, our head official here in KPW. Double axe handle counter from Pierre Cinema. Popcorn Poppy clutching that lower back region. Now Pierre Cinema stomping a mud hole into the Twitch champion, looking to walk it dry here. Irish whip into the buckles, one side to the other here. Here, going up top here, superplex. Popcorn Poppy's center of the ring here. Pierre's not electing to go for the cover here. He looks like he's looking to serve up some pure destruction here. Here looks like he's trying to frame it just perfect here. Pure destruction. That snap DDT has put away many men in his career, hooking the leg. And Pierre Cinema has just defeated the Twitch champion. Definitely a play that's going to bring him much closer to the World Heavyweight Championship, defeating the second most prominent champion across all of KPW in such convincing fashion here tonight. One has to wonder who's going to be able to step up to Popcorn Poppy. The void is the power vacuum regarding the Twitch division is just so heavy without the presence of Pierre Cinema now as he moves on to bigger and brighter pastures here. Who's gonna make their call in the Twitch division? Can Pierre Cinema keep the pressure up? Can he get another shot at World Heavyweight Championship gold here? We might have an answer on who might try and fill that power vacuum here. It's the heartthrob, Popo. Locking eyes with Popcorn Poppy, the Twitch champion. Turning his attention to Pierre Cinema. What the hell is this? Popo laying his hands on Pierre Cinema. And now he's taking a strike below the belt here. We know that Pierre Cinema's made no shortage of enemies here in KPW, and it looks like Popo might not be any sort of exception to that rule. Where the hell did this all come from? Popo leaving the ring, looking to brandish some sort of weapon here from the Kumite faithful. We know that Popo's had his shortcomings over the World Heavyweight Championship in recent months, being screwed out of the World Heavyweight Championship back in Ignition, being the odd man out at Destiny. Two examples where Popo was not soundly defeated for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's not going to take kindly to Pierre Cinema marching into the division to call his shot before he gets what's owed to him. You're recoiling out of muscle memory right into a Texas T here. And Popo's still not done. Somebody get security down here. You've proven your point, Popo. You've proven your damn point. Here, Cinema just wrapped up an intense 10-minute bell-to-bell bout here between him and Popcorn Poppy. Popo draping Pierre's neck over the top rope there. Popo wielding a baseball bat. He's looking to put Pierre Cinema out of commission here. A second bat strike to the head. And yet, Pierre Cinema, I don't know how the hell he does it, but he just keeps getting right back up here. And Popo making an example here tonight out of Pierre Cinema, looking to make him suffer. He's yelling at Pierre to know his place. We never would have suspected any sort of animosity between these two. We never would have suspected any action of the sort out of the heartthrob Popo. A shot below the belt and a shot from one head to the next. A second Texas T. And one more for the road there. And what the hell? Popo is still not done. Referees, security escorting Popo out of the ring here, dragging him through the ropes. After the assault we just witnessed, what the hell was that all about? We hope to get a word with the heartthrob Popo about why he chose now to strike, what his issues with Pierre Cinema stem from. Because this is no happy coincidence. You don't just lay a beat down of this caliber for no reason whatsoever. We hope to have all the answers for you next week on Warzone. And coming up next week, we'll be seeing Sigma Shuko challenge Corey Sinclair for the KPW Hardcore Championship. We'll also be seeing Popcorn Poppy in action next week in a championship eliminator as he goes one-on-one against hard-boiled Kabuki in singles action. We'll also be seeing Steven Gilbert, the director, in singles competition, as well as one half of the Bam Bus, Ricky Rhombus, as he goes one-on-one against one half of the Boise Boys, Hollywood Hannon. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of KPW War Zone. I have been Tapey Styles, the only man that could call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. Wishing you to stay safe, drive home safely, and good night, everybody.